Do you ever find yourself watching pro players play in Radiant lobbies and watch their enemies just walk into their crosshair and wonder why that doesn't happen to you? It's probably because you don't have good crosshair placement. And one of the biggest secrets to your aim being consistent is having perfect crosshair placement. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the ins and outs of crosshair placement, which includes practicing elevation, predicting how your enemy will swing, and how to stop yourself from walking into enemy crosshairs. So let's get started. First of all, I want to show you what good crosshair placement looks like, so you know what you should be aiming for by the end of this video. As you can see, this player has his crosshair at head height, he's adjusted to the elevation correctly, and is predicting how wide the enemy will swing. And these three things determine how good your crosshair placement is. So I'm going to make this very brief, as I know most of you know how to aim for the head, but for the floor moppers, this is for you. If you find that your crosshair slowly moves off head level when moving around, then you can go into the range and only move your crosshair horizontally. This will not only give you more control of your crosshair, but also this will help for situations like this, where you and your enemy are both on the same height level as each other. Adjusting your crosshair to a certain elevation can be hard to predict, and it takes a lot of playtime on each map to understand how low or high you have to move in order for your crosshair to be on the enemy's head. So what could you do to decrease the time of learning different elevations around the map? Simply, you can play some deathmatches and focus on where the player's head would be in different elevations. Another tip is, for example, if you're going to peek mid on ascent, then you can ping whereabouts you want to peek, which will help you see where you need to put your crosshair. There are three types of ways people can swing you. You have the normal peek, where the player stops as soon as he sees you, a wide peek, where the player moves much more than expected to try and drag your crosshair towards them, and lastly, you have a jiggle peek, where the players only show their shoulder and it's used to get info. The best way to predict this is by thinking about how you would peek the angle. If you're watching A main, then the most common peek would be to do a normal or jiggle. So which one should you hold? The best thing to do here is to hold for a normal swing, as if someone was to jiggle peek for info, they would most likely peek straight after if they wanted to commit to a fight. If you're holding a common angle that a player usually clears, then you want to be holding for a normal peek, as the player will just be trying to quickly clear one angle at a time. Also, when you are holding an angle, please don't just stand there, as when the enemy clears you, then their crosshair will be on the common angle, and if you're just stood still, then it's easy for them just to headshot you. So make sure you're constantly moving back and forth to make yourself a harder target to hit, and also the player could quickly clear the angle before they even see you, which would allow you to surprise the enemy and get the kill. One easy way to predict a wide swing is if the enemy is going to expose themselves to multiple angles or not. If someone's going to wide swing the angle that you are holding, then think to yourself, how many angles would they be exposing themselves to? For example, no one's going to wide swing top of A short, as there's so many angles that they'd be exposed to. However, in B window, people are most likely to wide swing you, as there are less angles that they have to worry about. Now I'm going to show you how to stop walking directly into people's crosshair, and by doing this you first need to understand how peeking at different distances affects crosshair placement. So for example, if you're watching C long, then your crosshair will be watching the close normal swing. However, what you can actually do is go a bit further back, which will change the crosshair alignment. Therefore, the enemy's crosshair will not be exactly on the correct position, which means that they have to micro adjust in order to kill you. However, doing a longer peek won't always work on all maps. For example, on bind, B long is usually peaked with a longer angle because of where the attacker's barriers are. So what you can do is hug up against this wall and do a fast wide swing to completely surprise the enemies who are expecting you to peek a long angle. Also, to throw off the enemy's crosshair, you can always try to change up the elevation every time you peek. For example, on bind, you can stand on this wall at B long. At A short, you can stand on these row of boxes. And for B showers, you can jump onto this box. The main goal for crosshair placement is to make it easier to aim inside of Valorant, and hopefully you have now learned how to perform good crosshair placement, which should improve your aim and consistency. Thanks for all the supporters on the channel recently, and if this has helped you in any way, then please consider subscribing, as my goal is to get 5k subs by the end of this year. If you want to learn about a secret setting that changed my aim, then you can click here. If not, it's been your boy Critical. Peace out.